पीएसएम एक ऐसा सब्जेक्ट है ना जिसको जितना भी पढ़ो उतना भी कम लगता है, और कितना ही रिवाइज कर लो एग्जाम टाइम पे लगता है कि ये क्वेश्चन कहाँ से आ गया। और जब मेरा एफएमजी एग्जामिनेशन आने वाला था, आई फील सो ग्रेटफुल दैट आई हैव फाउंड वन ऑफ द बेस्ट एजुकेटर ऑफ पीएसएम, डॉक्टर नेहा तनेजा। और मैंने अपने एफएमजी एग्जाम में जितना भी पीएसएम में स्कोर करा था, आई वुड लाइक टू थैंक नेहा तनेजा मैम फॉर दैट, क्योंकि उन्हीं के हाई क्रिस्प लास्ट रिवीजन सेशंस की वजह से मुझे वो कॉन्फिडेंस आया कि हाँ, पीएसएम थोड़ी तो आती है। And today it's a very special day for me because the legend herself, the ma'am herself, Dr. Neha Taneja, was on my channel and we talked a lot about different things and her journey from being a student to a doctor and a mentor. तो पॉडकास्ट को आराम से सुनना अगर मैम के बारे में जानना चाहते हो, या फिर पीएसएम के लिए प्रिपेयर कैसे करना है और व्हाट इज़ द करेक्ट अप्रोच टू स्टडी पीएसएम, तो उसके लिए आपको पूरा पॉडकास्ट देखना पड़ेगा। Keep watching. Hope you like it.
So before beginning the podcast, first of all, I would like to thank you, ma'am. Your supersonic ultra fast sessions of FMG June 22 were really helpful for me because PSM, even though I was studying from Vivek Jain sir, ठीक चल रहा था, बट ना PSM एक ऐसा सब्जेक्ट है, मुझे ऐसा लगता है, जिसमें कॉन्फिडेंस बहुत जरूरी है, चाहे कितना आता हो, क्योंकि कॉन्सेप्ट्स कुछ खास तो बनते नहीं, लेकिन मेजर सब्जेक्ट भी है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट है, आना ही चाहिए, छोड़ भी नहीं सकते। सो योर सीरीज ऑफ दोस 4 hours 3 hours 2 videos, आई वॉच देम थॉरोली, फिर उसका पीडीएफ, द एनोटेशन एंड ऑल। सो मैं काफी, मतलब इट वाज वेरी inspiring now that I realize it was very inspiring, like a educator जो already किसी ऐप के साथ या फिर किसी इंस्टीट्यूट के साथ associated है and they are charging money to students for the same thing. You are teaching students for free on YouTube, और वो भी that too with so much patience, और इतना अच्छा इंटरेस्टिंग सेशन था वो। सो मैम, उसके पीछे क्या आइडिया था कि आपने वो करने का सोचा?
Actually ना, मैं ना like teaching just happened by chance. It was not like a planned thing for me. I've always been a researcher. So after I finished my post graduation also, so I was more into research. Like particularly I'm working in cancer epidemiology. So I have more than 50 publications, 2 book chapters. I'm working on cervical cancer screening and artificial intelligence. So like I was more inclined towards research only. So in fact, I was working as an assistant professor for some time in Amity Institute also, teaching masters in public health care students. So there we were too much into research. Then during the times of COVID, it was 2020. That time teaching just happened. I'd opened a YouTube channel, started a YouTube channel sometime back. So I think they saw that and then they approached me. So during the times of COVID, we were at home working from home only. So I was like, okay, chalo, let's try out that. So, when I started teaching, I realized that PSM, it was very new for me also then teaching, matlab, per se teaching the entrance examination, whether it's a NEET PG or FMG aspirant. Then I gradually realized that PSM is so scoring and students actually, are ignoring the subject. Jabki PSM, if you score like out of 30, if you do a thorough revision or if you keep revising, तुम्हारे 25-26 questions लग जाएंगे. So gradually teaching hua, I started enjoying. All those were okay. But when exams approach, the anxiety it's from here till here. And the students are so, unke paas, problem is content sab jagah. I might have taken classes before also. But at the end, they always wanted a place where they could get, in a crisp format and they don't have to spend more than 2-3 hours for that. So I thought, why, if I plan to do such a session, let it benefit everyone. This 2-3 hours में I can come. पहले तो मुझे लग रहा था कि मैंने लिखा तो है 2 hours 3 hours में पढ़ा दूंगी. But like I was trying to do it for the first time. Otherwise, we were taking crash courses or full batches of 40-50 hours, I thought if I'll do it for everyone, so that everyone can benefit. And those PDFs, they, even if, if you crack like 20 questions भी लग जाए, 22 भी लग जाए, my work is done, because out of 150 if you go on to get 22, 23, so I thought that's the best way. YouTube is the blessed platform, and जिसको देखना है वो आराम से देख सकता है. You don't have to really worry. And then I thought I'll put, any student said ma'am PDF दे दो, I thought why not, ले लो. And so Telegram पे I put out the PDF also. It was just that I wanted, students की एक satisfaction के साथ exam में जाएं, and when even if one subject or two subject last में कोई teacher करा देता है ना, it was same for us also when we were preparing. So it's the same now also. If a teacher makes you do it, you go with a little sense of calmness and satisfaction. Okay, ये subject मैंने 3 घंटे में सब देखा है कुछ ना कुछ. That was the only reason, I thought I'll benefit. It's better to, give this benefit to each and every one out of you. I just wanted that. And I think I was successful in doing that, because a lot of students told me, and ab jab exam aa raha hai na, they are again asking कि ऐसा फिर करना है तो करेंगे obviously. Last November mid या किसी time पे, of course I'll do it. So that was the only purpose, I should offer PSM in a crisp manner to each one of you. I just one fine day I said चलो करते हैं. So
Yes,
that
ma'am.
was
I'm so much thankful for that thing. बहुत काफी यूजफुल थी वो चीज, क्योंकि कितना पढ़ सकते हैं पीएसएम, बट जो आपने पढ़ाया और वो ना कॉन्फिडेंस जो रहता है फिर कि कोई बात नहीं, आता है पीएसएम, एटलीस्ट वो
हाँ.
काफी हेल्प करता है. और आपके क्वेश्चंस में से भी काफी ज्यादा हाई यील्ड जो आप कह रहे हैं क्रिस्प था, दैट वाज वेरी यूजफुल एंड वेरी हाई यील्डिंग कंटेंट. तो दोबारा होगा तो काफी अच्छा रहेगा स्टूडेंट्स के लिए जो अभी दोबारा एग्जाम देने वाले हैं.
वो like I will definitely. अभी I'm taking a disease crash course. That's for everyone, because again, जैसे PSM is challenging. I wouldn't say difficult. अब diseases is so huge, and every student is like इतना कैसे पढ़ें, क्या पढ़ें. So I'm trying to, again conduct sessions on YouTube and give it every जब भी time में देख लो. ऐसा नहीं है, but whenever anybody has time. So my only purpose is, to bring out this subject in an engaging, crisp manner, so that you gain the confidence. And if you're confident in PSM, trust me, your scores, whether it's FMG, NEET, PG, will substantially increase. Because
Yes, ma'am.
कोई भी पैटर्न भी अगर बदलेगा ना, दिस इज वन सब्जेक्ट जहां पैटर्न एकदम ऐसे से ऐसे नहीं हो जाएगा. So
Exactly.
that's still at a good place. So that's the only reason behind conducting such sessions.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, I would like to know about your journey from 12th class till Manipal College of Medical Sciences, where you did your MBBS.
So my parents both are doctors. My mother is a obstetrician and gynecologist. My father is a physician. So I always did not want to become a doctor because my parents are doctors. It was because I used to see my mother, dressed up in a sari and go to the hospital. I didn't know exactly वो वहां जाके क्या करती है, but like patients देखती है and how challenging and hardworking का thing it is. I was just that she dresses up and looks very nice, so I also want to do this. Yeah, so since I was little girl only, I had decided that what she does, I'll do that. So I was always, an above average student, not very good, a good student, you can say, always hardworking, more of a hardworking girl, like most of the girls are. So after 12th, I gave the exams and then decided on Manipal College, because one prime reason was my parents' friends' children were there also. So, so he was like, someone there, so you should go there. I was like, okay, if parents are saying, chalo chalte hain. So that's how I just ended up in a medical college. And before that also, I had seen my mother and father running their own clinic. So by the time, I actually crossed class 10th, I had made up my mind that I will take up biology. बनेंगे तो अब डॉक्टर ही. एंड मैथ्स छोड़ने में मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई थी, इतनी खुशी हुई थी कि मैं बता नहीं सकती. आई वाज लाइक सो हैप्पी लिविंग मैथ्स. चलो अब डॉक्टर ही बनना है. बट By the time I entered medical college, I was like कि बस ठीक है, अब डॉक्टर बन जाएंगे, आगे हमको कुछ पता नहीं था क्या मुझे आगे करना है, अभी बस था कि अब कॉलेज मिल गया है, अब लाइफ इज गोइंग टू बी ऑल fun and all happy like all of us think about it. That's how I entered into college, and then it was a good journey in college also. Yeah, that's how I landed in a, like, not a very strong story. It's just that my parents, and yeah, my brother also, he had taken up, he was a doctor, he had also become a doctor, so that also inspired me कि घर में सब है तो फिर मैं भी बन ही जाती हूँ. So that's how I ended up in a college, and yeah.
तो ठीक है मैम, वो मैम इंस्पिरेशन थी सब डॉक्टर है या फिर फोमो था कि भाई मैं ही ना रह जाऊं?
इंस्पिरेशन तो बाद में आया, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन के टाइम. पहले तो यही था कि ना हमारी फैमिली में ना इट्स जस्ट माय पेरेंट्स वर डॉक्टर्स. लाइक आई हैव
Okay.
like I have a number of chachas and mamas, but nobody is into doctor thing. Everybody has a business. So my father was the first one who became a doctor, and my mother's side also, my mother is the first one. Then one of my mamas became. So it was always like you're saying, it was not very passion कि बनना है. एक ये भी था कि हाँ पापा है, मम्मी है, भैया है, आगे क्या होगा हम बोले ना, हमको पता नहीं था मैं आगे क्या करूंगी. But just because they are there, and my mother is like, you know, she was the head of the department, so everybody is around her. So it was like I also want to do the same thing. आगे देखेंगे, पढ़ पाएंगे तो पढ़ लेंगे. So it was more like a combo of both.
ठीक है मैम, मेरा भी कुछ ऐसा ही था. मैम कॉलेज डेज में आपको पीएसएम कैसा लगता था? तब सोचा था आपने कि पीजी पीएसएम में होगी आपकी?
पीएसएम एक्चुअली मैंने ना एक चीज तो डिसाइड, जैसे फर्स्ट 2 इयर्स में तो ठीक था. आई वाज एक मुझे डिस्टिंक्शन आया पैथो में, फिजियो में, फार्मा में. तब तक मैंने कुछ ऐसा मेकअप नहीं किया था माइंड कि ये सब करना, बट आई वाज वेरी क्लियर कि ये माइक्रोस्कोप आई कैन नॉट लुक इनटू इट, सो दैट वाज आउट ऑफ द पिक्चर ऑल टुगेदर. एनाटॉमी और बायोकेम और फिजियोलॉजी बहुत ही फर्स्ट ईयर वाले थिंग थे, सो उसको मेरे को बिल्कुल ही नहीं करना था, so was out. Then I was stuck between this clinical and then, so ना, like I've always been a person who likes to talk and interact. तो फिर मुझे ना एक वो भी लगता था यार, एक क्लिनिक में बैठ के मैं एक ही पेशेंट के साथ कैसे, मतलब नहीं हो पाएगा शायद. I was not inclined towards clinical branches, even though my parents are this thing. And the biggest reason for me taking PSM again, my brother, when he cleared NEET PG, so he got a very good rank within 1,000, so he could get anything. Okay. And then he approached my parents and he said that I don't want to go into clinical. I hope you'll not mind, because my father was an MD physician and mother was a gynecologist, and all my parents' friends, they are all clinicians. Okay, so he was a little apprehensive. He said that you let me do something that I want. My parents was that you go ahead and do it. So my brother took PSM, and he's 4 years elder to me. And so by the time he got into MD, I was just beginning my journey. So when I finished my MBBS, I saw him progress in a subject which hardly people were selecting. And that inspired me a lot. He was doing really well, and he got selected into big organizations, and I saw him interacting. So that was one of the reasons. And then my nature somehow told me that it's, better to go out and meet people and, work in an organization, NGO, more like a corporate thing, rather than sitting in a, in a hospital and बस एक patient को देख लिया. उसमें मुझे उतना मजा नहीं आता. और तो फिर मैंने पीएसएम चुन लिया. उस टाइम तो मैंने चुन ही लिया भैया को देख के. मोस्टली द बिगेस्ट रीजन वाज कि इफ ही इज डूइंग सो वेल, आई विल आल्सो टेक अप दिस एंड आई विल डू पीएसएम.
काफी अच्छा डिसीजन था आपका. आपकी वजह से मेरे जैसे बहुत स्टूडेंट्स का भला हो रहा है आज के टाइम पे.
नहीं, तब ना मैंने पीएसएम लिया कि मैं रिसर्च में जाऊंगी. टीचिंग तो बाय गॉड्स ग्रेस, अब मुझे हमेशा लगता था कि रिसर्च ही मेरे लिए है. अब मुझे लगता है ना टीचिंग ही मेरे लिए है. वो बोलते हैं ना, कोई एज नहीं होता आपको कब पता चल जाए कि आप ये भी कर सकते हो या वो भी कर सकते हो. सो I think it's been a blessing for me that somehow I started teaching. अब तो I can't think about doing. My research has taken a back foot. सब मुझे बोलते हैं तुम्हारे कितने पेपर्स पेंडिंग पड़े हैं, कब करोगी? करेंगी.
Yes, ma'am.
So
So your research is about cervical cancer epidemiology, if I'm not wrong.
yeah, mostly I'm working. I'm doing my PhD now, no? So when I'm in my PhD, I'm working on an ICMR funded project where we are trying to do early detection of cervical cancer and integrated approach. So like we all know cervical cancer के screening के लिए pap smear होता है, but अब
Yes.
liquid based cytology आ गई है. So we are using liquid based cervical cytology and we are using HPV analysis and साथ में we are using artificial intelligence to develop model which can help our healthcare professionals, particularly field level पे ही cancer का detection हो जाए. So that's what is I'm currently working on. Still have 1.5 years to go for that, and then hopefully I can build a model. Let's see.
Ma'am, of the records, uh, your college, this Manipal, uh, it shows that it is in Nepal.
So I did my FMG, no. I
Oh,
was
FMG story तो रह ही गई, ma'am.
बोल सकते हैं, मुझे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
We are fellow FMGs.
हाँ, तो हमारे टाइम क्या था ना, जब मैं गई थी ना, तो हमारे कॉलेज में नहीं देना होता था बिकॉज इट वाज अ दिस थिंग ऑफ मणिपाल ओनली. सो मेरा एक सीनियर बैच था जिस टाइम से शुरू हुआ, ठीक है. तो फिर हमें तो उम्मीद ही नहीं थी कि देना है, क्योंकि हमारी पढ़ाई भी सब कुछ सेम होता है, सब कुछ वैसे ही होता है. तो कभी बोला नहीं. एक और कॉलेज है धरान, बहुत अच्छा कॉलेज है वो, ठीक है, वो एम्स से एफिलिएटेड है, उसको भी नहीं देना होता था, बट 1 साल पहले ही हुआ. तो हमारा इंटर्नशिप ना वही वैलिड है, जैसे मुझे इंडिया आके इंटर्नशिप करनी पड़ी. तो ड्यूरिंग माय इंटर्नशिप ही मैंने तैयारी करी, ठीक है. पहले 6 महीने जो इंटर्नशिप के थे तो तैयारी करी. तब हमारे ना एक बुक होती थी मुदित खन्ना, तुम्हारे अपने टाइम में है कि नहीं पता नहीं. तो उससे
No
मैंने
idea.
ना सारे क्वेश्चंस ऐसे रट डाले थे, ये आएगा इसका आंसर, इसका आंसर ये आएगा. क्योंकि इंटर्नशिप भी था और अचानक से ही आ गया था कि हमें भी एग्जाम
और
देना
मैम
है.
कोई PYQ नहीं था.
कुछ भी नहीं था. So हमारे पास था नहीं, मतलब एग्जाम तो चलता आ रहा था बट हमने कभी सोचा नहीं. मैंने ना
अच्छा.
रट डाला सारी चीजें, ऐसे रट्टा मारा है ना मैंने कि मैं क्या बताऊं. फिर एग्जाम आया, दिल्ली आया एग्जाम देने, एंड बाय गॉड्स ग्रेस मतलब पहली बार में मेरा एग्जाम निकल गया. जैसे
अरे
मेरा
वाह.
एग्जाम निकला, मैंने अपने कॉलेज, अपने हॉस्टल रूम के लिए टीवी लिया और अगले 6 महीने पूरा इंटर्नशिप में इतना टीवी देखा. तब ना उस टाइम मैं और मेरी रूममेट, तब वो सब भी शुरू हुआ था, डांस इंडिया डांस, उस टाइम का जिसमें वो धर्मेश वगैरह थे ना, फर्स्ट टाइम
Yes,
देखे.
ma'am.
तो हम
वो
लोग
वाला
टाइम पास
सीजन.
कर रहे. हाँ, एग्जाम भी निकल गया था, इतना खुशी. तब तो पता नहीं था ना सीरियसनेस कितना होता है. बाय गॉड्स ग्रेस, आई वुड से इट वाज बाय गॉड्स ग्रेस. और सब कुछ थोड़ा फ्रेश था मेरे दिमाग में, तो शायद एग्जाम निकल गया. कुछ मेरे फ्रेंड्स थे जिनका एक नहीं 2-3 बार में भी निकला, तो फिर निकल गया आराम से एग्जाम. फिर हो गया एग्जाम, निकल गया, फिर हम आ गए दिल्ली. हमें यहाँ
अरे वाह.
इंटर्नशिप करनी थी. तो बस ऐसे ही था फिर, मतलब जस्ट हैपेंड बाय.
वाओ मैम, व्हाट अ स्टोरी. क्योंकि काफी कम एजुकेटर्स मैम दिखते हैं FMG, मतलब PSM एज अ PG ऑप्शन चूज करना मेरे ख्याल से इसलिए भी मुश्किल है क्योंकि इतना वास्ट हो जाता है, इतनी फर्दर इसमें ब्रांचेस बन जाती हैं कि समझ नहीं आता ये है
हाँ,
क्या. तो आप किसी को कैसे एक्सप्लेन करेंगे कि व्हाई टू
एक्चुअली
चूज PSM?
actually, what is our knowledge about career as a career PSM is very limited. मतलब it has never been discussed even in medical colleges. It is never discussed in too much of an elaborate manner. Like we know that if I take up MD medicine, I can do DM. मैं ये कर सकती हूँ, मैं वो कर सकती हूँ. सर्जरी के बाद मैं ये कर सकती हूँ, मैं वो कर सकती हूँ. But and like subjects like first year के subjects, it's clear that lecturer बन सकते हैं. PSM has so many options, but the knowledge is very limited among students. And because in the third year, when you're reading, you have never been engaged in the subject, you've never been made aware of its potential, you've never been motivated to actually understand that subject and realize that how many options it can offer you. If you are aware of that fact, I'm sure jahan ek bacha in every maybe 1,000 is opting for PSM by his or her own wish, that number can increase. So like PSM में बच्चों को क्या लगता है, either हम कॉलेज में जाएंगे, we'll become a teacher, a professor, उसी में लाइफ कट जाएगी, या हमें कुछ ऐसा ज्यादा नॉलेज नहीं है. So when you're doing your MD also na, PSM में there's epidemiology, there's biostatistics, there's reproductive health, there's immunization, there's family planning. There are so many things. There's occupational health, there's mental health. So when you're doing your MD, you have to make up your mind that which is that one branch you want your career to build in. It's not like मैं communicable में भी अपना career build कर सकती हूँ, and I can build in non-communicable or reproductive health also. So you have to see your interest किसमें आता है, because MD में तो we are taught in a little more detail. And like I had a greater interest in this cancer wala thing, because I had done a lot of articles during residency also. So if you come to find out that okay, this is the one branch in PSM that interests you, after you finish MD, during your MD you've done your papers, you've attended conferences, you have to make a little bit of contacts. So after that, you know, you have a lot of options. Medical college to hai, no doubt. Government, private, UPSC, that is there. Healthcare delivery system India, PHC, CHC, wahan aap ja sakte ho. But there's a different side. You can work in an NGO, which is Indian NGO, or you can also work in an international NGO. वहां पे क्या होता है ना, it's more like a corporate thing. If you work in an international NGO or even in national NGOs, ठीक है, या तो आप Ministry of Health में चले जाओ. Ministry of Health में you have your promotion and those things are little limited. But if you go and join an international NGO or a national NGO also, and if you are a hardworking person, it's a 9 to 6 ka thing. If you're putting in effort, if you're doing your work, if you're writing papers, if you're bringing out, you know, designing things, then there's no end to it. You can move abroad also. Looking at your capability, you can go abroad, you get a very good package. So it becomes more like a corporate thing. So if that interests you, और तुम 9 to 6 के काम में पूरी तरह से काम कर सकते हो 100%, then there is no end to it. You get good promotions. You can start from a project coordinator. You can become a project lead. But eventually you become a state lead. You become a national lead. I've seen my seniors go through like all those phases. And that's how you progress in this field. The only thing is that you have to build contacts in community medicine as a subject. And you have to put in, you know, you have to show your work that तुमने इतने conferences किए, इतने papers लिखे, तुमने इतने सारे field talks दिए, and then if you get hired by a NGO, then there's no end to it. You can just keep on growing with a good this thing. And like I'm doing my PhD, even after your MD, DNB, you can easily go do a MPH ka course or a PhD, and then you can do a postdoc and you can even move out. So it's not very difficult, little challenging, but if you are aware of the things, you can go on to select, you know, community medicine, I feel so.
Okay, ma'am. So apart from interest in all those fields you just talked about, कोई एक या दो ऐसे स्किल्स जो होने ही चाहिए एक पीएसएम रेजिडेंट में, या फिर जो भी डॉक्टर इसमें करियर बनाना चाहता है, इसमें कोई ऐसा स्किल, जैसे कहते हैं ना कि ऑर्थो में जो है सर्जन की बॉडी होनी चाहिए वेट उठाने के लिए, वैसे पीएसएम में ऐसा क्या होना चाहिए?
वही पीएसएम में ना आपको थोड़ा सा सोशल होना है, like you know, you have to be a little interactive, you have to be a little out, you have to be there, you have to be noticeable, you're understanding, you have to be a little out, like you need to know, ठीक है, पढ़ाई तुम कर लोगे, पेपर
खुद पे स्पॉटलाइट कैसे लाना है, one should know.
आपको बहुत जरूरी है in this subject to build contacts, to get closer to people, you know, and to showcase your work. That's more important. जैसे जब हम सर्जन या गायनी बनते हैं ना, तो ठीक है, तुम ओटी में जाते हो, your seniors observe you, hear that तुम्हारा हाथ कैसा है, तुम कैसे, you know, you're operating or something. In PSM, the most important thing is nobody is actually observing you. You have to make yourself observed. So you have to be a little, you know, socially, you have to be there. And just you have to be a good leader. Leader, I won't say, like, because you will be heading a lot of teams. So वो कुछ तुम्हारे skills definitely होने चाहिए, interactive, good leaders, and you don't have to be scared. because you have to go and interact with the entire community, and it's very, very difficult to engage with the community whom you don't know. So again, social tum kitne ho, how you behave with people, so your nature, and that plays a very important role in community medicine.
Yes, ma'am.
What I
Exactly,
feel.
ma'am.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. उसके अलावा मैम, जैसे कि you have a beautiful family, we all see the videos of your child on Instagram and all. That's very cute to see, and you share them all. So that's very sweet. But मेरा क्वेश्चन यही है कि आजकल अपार्ट फ्रॉम इंटरेस्ट एंड सैलरी, पीजी इस हिसाब से भी चूज करते हैं कि मेरा वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस किस पे ठीक रहेगा, कि मेरे को घर पे भी टाइम देना है, मेरे को चिल भी करना है वीकेंड्स पे, मेरे को अर्न भी करना है. तो इस वे में पीएसएम कहाँ आता है? पीएसएम में आर यू एबल टू मैनेज योर वर्क लाइफ?
PSM में see again it's a personal choice. Work life balance के लिए you will be able to manage with community medicine as a subject, along with balancing your family life, your professional life. You will be earning good. I can say you that. Like I said, even if you are a medical college में ठीक है 9 to 5 है, but you have to be satisfied with that decision that you are working in a medical college from 9 to 5 and this is the limited salary you will get. 4 साल 5 साल के बाद ही तुम्हारा प्रमोशन होगा. तो वो कुछ फैक्ट्स, if you are okay with that, happy with that, very good. If you are working in an organization also or in ICMR या NIHFW, थोड़ा competitive हो जाता है, but then when you're at work, you put in your 100% at work, come back home, and you won't have to do any work office ka too much at home. So of course you'll be able to spend time as a woman, as a girl, for women also, even for men. Okay, aaj ke time it's the world has become so competitive, they're so stressful. Keep money has become a very important factor. You feel कि यार इतना ठीक है और होना चाहिए, है ना? So if you're okay with the amount that you're getting, and you will get a good amount, it's not like that it's a petty amount or something. And if you're okay with your working hours, you will have a good work-life balance. Most of the organizations also give you a off on Saturday and Sunday. And अगर तुम इंटरनेशनल एनजीओज में तो बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट पॉलिसी होती है, कोई फोन नहीं आता है सैटरडे संडे, आएगा ही नहीं. मतलब तो फॉर अ गर्ल इट्स वेरी, हाँ बहुत, अनलेस एकदम ही एकदम ही कुछ इमरजेंसी आ गया, बहुत ही स्ट्रिक्ट वो होता है that you have to finish your work from Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday you'll get a work, you'll get off, so you can work on your own research papers or something whenever you get time, but you can spend time with your family. For the men also, for the women also. Okay. So you can have a good work-life balance.
So that's great. बाकी जैसे आपने बताया, जो आपका सुपरसोनिक सेशन होता है, it took so much efforts from you to make a high yield content for the students. तो उसके लिए obviously you have to observe the questions that have been asked in recent years. तो आपको लगता है कहीं पे FMG का पैटर्न ऐसे रिसेंटली चेंज होता जा रहा है या फिर सिमिलर ही चल रहा है जब से आपने एनालाइज करना शुरू करा है?
जब से मैंने करना शुरू करा है ना, it's like since 2020, to be very honest. I have been looking at the papers. That's when I got into this field, and I have seen that over the years, 1 or 2 years only, the thing is that they are asking the same topics में कहीं कोई change नहीं आया. It's not like कि बहुत ही topic ही बदल गया है. अगर पहले भी कोहॉर्ट स्टडी आता था, आज भी कोहॉर्ट स्टडी आएगा, ठीक है? पहले वो क्या करते थे, they would ask you relative risk is calculated, is estimated in case control, cohort, RCT, कुछ और दे दिया, cross sectional. अब वो क्या कर रहे हैं, they want to ask you anything about cohort study. They will give you a situation that so many people we started the study with, they were drinking, they were not drinking, we are following them up, So the topic, the 85% questions or the topics, I would say topics are the same. Questions अगर 1 line थे तो उसको 4 to 5 lines कर दो. What is the biggest problem, in today's time with what I have observed over 2 or 3 years is that the students are not considering the PYQs because उनके दिमाग में इतना भर दिया है ना कि पैटर्न ही बदल गया है. So they are completely ignoring the previous year questions. And once you start ignoring the previous year questions, you know what you're trying to do? You're trying to run after the 10% of stuff which nobody knows kya aega. We can't run after the 5% or the 10% to clear an exam. We have to get all the 80 to 85% जो आते जा रहे हैं ना, वो सही है. And any examiner who prepares the question paper, whether it was 10 years back, whether it's today or it's 10 years in the future, they will always have a look at previous year questions. किसी टीचर पास इतना टाइम भी नहीं है कि वो नए सरे से नए नए टॉपिक लाके बनाएगा. वो पहले के क्वेश्चन जरूर देखेगा. The only difference is they have become a little more conceptual. I would not say difficult, because if they've shifted from one line to 3-4 lines, no, it becomes easy because you have a lot of buzzwords there. ठीक है, बहुत क्लियरली. जैसे एफएमजी में ना लास्ट टाइम ही केस कंट्रोल के क्वेश्चंस आए, इतने प्यार से इतने क्लियरली मेंशन किया था ना, 2 ग्रुप्स हैव बीन फॉर्म्ड, एक जो एडिक्शन में है, एक नए है, यू नो, काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स लाइक दैट. सो व्हाट आई वुड लाइक टू tell as a suggestion for all the students is, don't ignore your previous year questions. The topics are still the same. It's just that they've become a little conceptual. So when you're reading your topics, no, then you have to be very careful with the words. कि अगर matching आया तो case control ही है, follow up आया तो बहुत ही है. तो वो वर्ड से वो क्वेश्चन बनाने लगे rather than asking very directly. But it's not like one liners still don't come. The last time also they have come. Mugging up is required still in our medical system. It's not like we don't have to mug up at all. So the only thing is you can't ignore your previous year questions. That is what is most important. और जितना तुम previous year देखोगे ना, तुम पता चलेगा ये topic 5 बार 6 बार आया है, can come again. So you'll read that a little more depth में, so you'll be able to answer the pattern in which they are asking. It's not like a drastic change. Just थोड़ा सा length बढ़ा दिया, which I think is a little more easy to solve. Like I'll tell you an example. Glycemic index पूछ दिया था. Now if you look at in FMG exam, so glycemic index बच्चों को लगेगा कि क्या पढ़ना glycemic index, but glycemic index का table PARC में दिया हुआ है. हाँ, and for community medicine, any question that they give that is in textbook of PARC. But I can't tell you now to start reading PARC. I am there to help you with that. You remember they gave a question, cardboard factory में कौन सा occupational exposure हो रहा है?
Yes, ma'am.
Question आया ना, तो सारे बच्चे were like ये कहाँ से आ गया and all that. Including a textbook of PARC, एक line लिखा हुआ है that, you know, cardboard factories mein the residues of sugarcane are being used.
Yes, ma'am.
So what I'm trying to tell you, instead of asking sugarcane se baguette sausage hota hai, पूछ लिया जो कि तुम्हारे बुक में ही है. तो
Yes,
it's just that हम topics ignore ना करें, बाकी questions जैसे frame होगा वो आप कर लोगे if you've read
Yes.
that topic. Yeah.
I 100% agree with you, ma'am. वो PYQ से काफी important है. I still remember मैंने 2020 August से, because the 2020 August was considered to be the revolutionary FMG examination. कि एकदम बदल दिया, सब बदल दिया. So I started analyzing since that examination, then December and 2021 examination. और let me tell you this second session का जब मैं exam दे रहा था FMG का second session, the first 30 questions were repeat, completely repeat. मतलब questions की language तक change नहीं करी थी. So it's very important कि PYQs तो करने ही चाहिए, बहुत important है.
हमें वो 85% टारगेट रखना है. देखो लाइफ में भी 5% तो किसी को नहीं पता कल क्या होगा. वही बात है जब हम तैयारी करते हैं.
बिल्कुल मैम. हम अब पीएसएम का तो जैसे कुछ कहते हैं ना कि ये वोलेटाइल सब्जेक्ट्स हैं, लास्ट के वीक में पढ़ना चाहिए, बट पीएसएम ना झूलता रहता है. पीएसएम का इट्स मेजर, तो आपको पहले भी पढ़ना चाहिए, बट व्हेन यू गेट क्लोज टू द एंड और द एग्जामिनेशन डेट आप भूलने भी लग जाते हो, तो दोबारा वो वोलेटाइल वाला फील आता है. तो कुछ स्टूडेंट्स इसी में कंफ्यूज रहते हैं, स्टार्टिंग से पढ़ें या फिर सिर्फ एंड में पढ़ें. सो व्हाट्स योर टेक ऑन दिस, और किस अप्रोच के साथ पीएसएम की पढ़ाई शुरू करनी चाहिए?
पीएसएम की पढ़ाई देखो, आजकल ना सब्जेक्ट्स तो वॉलेटाइल हो गया, और सबसे बड़ी बात है तुम्हारे वॉलेटाइल नोट्स, है ना. तुम क्लास जाते हो, तुम लिखते जाते हो, नोट्स बनाते जाते हो, so it becomes very volatile. अब एग्जाम के टाइम, whether it's 6 months to the exam, 3 months to the exam, उस नोट्स में क्या पढ़ोगे? That is the actual question. What do you need to study? I can't have made a notes this thick. पढ़ पाऊंगी मैं? Obviously नहीं है. अब यहाँ पे your strategy plays a very important role. You have to read the notes in an order of importance. कैसे पता चलेगा मुझे ये order of importance? I'm not talking about a third year student right now. Okay, third year student के लिए तो मैं advice यही करूंगी कि that's the only one time when you have to read and you should read your textbook of path. But for our FMG students or even NEET PG aspirants, when you're starting to, prepare for any exam, first you need to have your content. अब जब तुम्हारा कंटेंट तुम्हारा खुद का कंटेंट बन गया, चाहे तुमने कहीं से भी पढ़ा हो या whatever, उसको कैसे पढ़ोगे? So उसमें to decide an order of importance, that is where you have to look at the PYQs. You can't just read your notes and you can't just rely on questions. फिर यहाँ पे work life balance की तरह ना notes और MCQs का balance चाहिए. तो तुम पढ़ने से पहले देख लो. Okay, suppose you start targeting epidemiology. फटाफट उसके questions देख लो. अच्छा, कोहॉर्ट से बहुत आ रहे हैं, केस कंट्रोल से आ रहे हैं, RCT से आ रहे हैं, ठीक है? Then when you go to your notes, you write there that this topic has come just last 3 years. I would not say कि last 5 years भी देखो, 3 years ही देखो. अगर 5 years देख सके तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. फिर last 3 years में the topics which have been repeated very, very often, you mark them in your notes. Okay. So once you're reading, you will know for the first time when you're reading that, okay, info, I have to read in depth. So you finish your reading once based on that strategy. Then when you are revising, and revision should never be at the end. This is a very wrong ideology that revise हम last में करेंगे. वो कभी नहीं हो पाता. आपको revision एक constant, तो हर दिन 1 घंटा या 2 घंटा तुमने revision के लिए रखना ही है. For a subject like PSM I'm talking. हर दिन नहीं तो every 2 days. So when your exam is now only 2 months ahead, तुम्हारे notes में ना लिखा हुआ है that, and it's marked with a green color sticker or a pink color sticker, that these are the most repeated ones. So when you start revising, nobody can revise the entire thick notes of all the subject. When it's just 1 month to the exam, अगर तुम्हारे notes में वो लिखा हुआ है ना कि ये 10 बार आया, तुम सबसे पहले उसको पढ़ो. ये 8 बार आया, then read that. ये 3 बार आया, ठीक है यार, इसको last में सोते टाइम ही नजर मार लूंगा. So the most important thing is, before reading, do a pre-test. Understand no? What is pre-test? Just look at the questions. You know, ठीक है. Then just write in your notes, read your notes, and then try to do a post-test again that you've understood or not. And during the time of revision, just read your notes in the order of importance. तो हर एक सब्जेक्ट के लिए ना वो order of importance बना लो. और वो तुम कैसे बनाओगे? Questions देख के. That is how we need to maintain a balance. This just doesn't go for, PSM. I think it goes for most of the subjects. And for PSM, it's revision. And it's discussion. You need to have one that good friend, जिसके साथ time नहीं waste करना, but हाँ, PSM को तुम बारी-बारी revise कर सको. Because PSM अगर revision करते रहे ना, 3-4 topic छूट भी जाए चलेगा. But अगर revision constant रहेगा ना, you will actually score very well in PSM. It's not like medicine or surgery. You need to look at it.
Yes, ma'am. और PSM का when I was studying for the final time the PSM subject just before the examination, तो मैंने एक चीज realize करी, जब हम बाकी clinical subjects वगैरह पढ़ते हैं, we think like a doctor sitting in an OPD or something. लेकिन PSM की जब भी बात आती है ना, ऐसा लगता है आप बस भीड़ में खड़े हो, आपको एनालाइज करना है इतने लोगों को अगर ये डिसीज है और यहाँ कम्युनिटी में ये फैल रहा है, तो पूरा ना माइंडसेट ही बदल जाता है. तो कई बार वो समझ नहीं आती, और वही चीज जो है पीएसएम को इंटरेस्टिंग भी बनाता है, बस वो अप्रोच बदलने की जरूरत है स्टूडेंट्स को.
The only thing is the responsibility lies with our teachers when we are in our first year. Say the importance of the subject एक बच्चे तक पहुंचाना is the role of a teacher, and somewhere we need to work on that so that this subject becomes interesting. And जब हम पढ़ते भी हैं ना, या हम जब पढ़ाते भी हैं, all I'm also trying to do is that I don't want it to sound boring. It's no doubt that you don't have to mug up. ऐसा है ही नहीं, तुमको mug up अभी भी करना है, but it doesn't have to be in a boring manner. It has to be कि तुम थोड़ा सा भी enjoy कर लोगे ना, तो तुम्हारे 30 में से 34 questions have to come in FMG. योर 30 में से तुम्हारे 25 पक्का लगेंगे. देखो 5 का गारंटी, nobody can take 5 questions guarantee and nobody should take that also. But as a teacher I want each one of you कि 25 से 27 तक तुम्हारे लगे. For that we want that the subject should sound interesting to you and keep revising. Look at your PYQs. That's the best way, to handle a subject like PSM. Don't leave it for the end because it's a bulky subject including so many marks, है ना. So हम last के लिए पहली बार पढ़ोगे तो एग्जाम के पास नहीं होगा, फिर तुम बोलोगे छोड़ो यार इसको, बाकी में देखा जाएगा. That is why we need to look at it in the beginning, just in an order of importance. That's the only thing I would say to everyone.
Yes, ma'am. और जैसा कि आपने कहा, it's a teacher's responsibility to make a subject fun. So, ma'am, I would like to say it again. You are doing a really great job. And you, मतलब कितने स्टूडेंट्स को आप हेल्प कर रहे हो अपने लेक्चर से, यूट्यूब हो या फिर अन अकेडमी हो. आई एम इंक्लूडिंग मी, आई एम सो मच थैंकफुल टू यू. और जिसकी वजह से मुझे थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस आया एफएमजी एग्जाम देने के लिए पीएसएम को कंसिडर करते हुए. सो दैट वाज ऑल फॉर द सेशन. कोई लास्ट आप अपनी एडवाइस देना चाहते हो स्टूडेंट्स को जिनका एफएमजी एग्जाम आने वाला है, क्योंकि वही अभी परेशान हो रहे होंगे लास्ट में क्या करें.
I completely understand. एग्जाम्स आने वाला है, एंजाइटी तो होगा, it's natural, but remember it's a journey. The important thing is don't make it your life. It's a phase of life, and life never remains the same. So यहाँ से यहाँ तक तुम चल आए हो ना, 6 महीने, अब कितना 2 महीना बचा है, like, है ना. तो 4 महीने ओवर हो गए हैं. लास्ट के 2 months don't get distracted and stay determined, devoted, डेडिकेशन, कंसिस्टेंट. अगर आज भी तुम 6 घंटे पढ़ते हो ना, वो 6 घंटे फोन को हटा के पूरे कंसंट्रेशन से पढ़ लो. 12 में नहीं बोल रही करने, but whatever you're reading with full consistency, and please remember it's a phase of life. Nothing is more important than our life. And हर चीज हमारी लाइफ में जिस टाइम होनी होती है हो जाती है, बट उसको ना बस एक as a challenge लो. Don't take it as a burden. And whenever you feel like talking to anyone, approach your parents or whomever you're close to. It's natural to, feel anxious and a little low. So don't stay alone during such times. Reach out to someone. It can be a teacher, friend, anybody. But remember, ये phase है, ये भी निकल जाएगा. आगे तो अभी बहुत कुछ होना है, शादी होनी है, बच्चे होने हैं, वो भी एक अलग ही phase है. तो इसीलिए सब हो जाता है. Just respect the life that God has given you and keep working towards your aim or goal, and I'm sure it will just happen. And just reach out to anyone any moment you feel like. That's all I want to say.
You explained it in a very beautiful way, ma'am. कि ये phase है, ये तो बस छोटे छोटे hurdles हैं, life तो आगे चलती रहेगी. So thank you very much, ma'am, for being a part of this podcast. It was an honor to have you here on my channel. Thank you very much.
Called me. Thank you so much. Best wishes from my side to everyone and to you. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, so if you're still watching, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more such content for the medicos. और कमेंट करके मुझे बताओ नेक्स्ट किस मेंटर को या फिर किसको आप देखना चाहते हैं पॉडकास्ट में. और अगर आप मुझसे कनेक्ट करना चाहते हैं, देयर इज अ लिंक ऑफ माय इंस्टाग्राम अकाउंट एंड आल्सो माय टेलीग्राम ग्रुप, सो यू कैन मीट मी देयर एज वेल एंड वी कैन चैट देयर एज वेल. देन गाइस, कीप ग्राइंडिंग एंड आई विल सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट वन. बेस्ट विशेस.